Hey, what is going on, everybody? You're tuning in to howtoplaystock.com. My name is Casey. Today is October 12th, 2017, and today I want to talk about Bitcoin. It blasts through the $5,000 level for the first time. Okay, I've got an article pulled up here on Bloomberg that I found on Google Finance. I'm gonna play this video for you. Then I'm gonna kind of just do a cap summary on this article because it talks about J.P. Morgan Chase and what Jamie Dimon had to say as of today with Bitcoin. So we're gonna go ahead and play this video real quick.
10 minutes or so. For the first time ever, Bitcoin advancing as much as 4.9%. That means it's now at a record high of just above $5,000 for the first time ever. That's according to Bloomberg data. Of course, we'll be trying to figure out a little bit more whether there's really something in there. It seems that Bitcoin is so close to making a new record that it could be because it's making market share from its smaller cousins. So there's kind of like markets at play and how the market is actually positioned. That's something that we need to look at or not.
It's just a very speculative market. 4.9% is a few hedge funds deciding to have a punt on the Bitcoin. It's probably the reality.
But John, you have an investment in Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Could it go either way? Are you taking a bet on whether...
Absolutely. It's going to be
So
a
it's
very,
kind of
very
a
volatile
gamble.
asset for a long time.
Timeline, 10 years, you're expecting it maybe to be better if something
I think
happens, or could it be
Bitcoin in 10 years will have to evolve. The current structure for manufacturing Bitcoins simply cannot survive 10 years.
Okay.
Quite where it'll be in even a lesser period, I really don't know. It's very interesting to have something unattached to governments and to central banks. That's the bit that's rather appealing. But we do have a thing called gold, which does roughly the same.
Now he's talking about comparison between Bitcoin and gold. The problem with gold that you have to keep in mind here, from what he said, is that let's say you had a currency crisis or we had to go to a new currency, but before we could do that, there was a period of time where credit froze, right? So you didn't have any credit transactions that were being processed. If you went to gold, all right, and used that as a form of barter, you got to remember everything is global now. So if you used actual physical gold to make your purchases and sell items and use that as your form of barter, there's just not enough to go around on the global planet or on the global scale to fulfill all your transactions. It would be a big hassle because you're talking about physical gold. You would have to package it and ship it, and it could take multiple days or weeks for it to get to the person or the recipient. Now with Bitcoin, it's a little bit different because it's digital. So obviously, I mean, what that guy said in his comment there, I don't think he has a clue as to what he's talking about because he doesn't know um, the technical. He's not up to par on the technical aspects of Bitcoin. I hate to say that, but it is what it is because the thing with Bitcoin, you don't have to ship it. It's digital. And yes, there's only 21 million that are being produced. So I understand where he's coming from as far as the supply side, but that's just going to shoot the value of Bitcoin up because there's not as much in circulation. Okay, as maybe some of these others like Litecoin, for instance, which I think is around 84 million that are to be produced. I could be wrong on that figure, so correct me if I'm wrong. Just put it in the comments section here of the video. But let's go ahead and read the article, or just kind of do a summary here. Jamie Dimon came out this morning, okay, because Bitcoin right now is at $5,297. All right, now I got out last night because I thought it was, it had hit close to a peak and was going to start contracting. So I got out last night around 4,800-ish. I'd have to go back and look at the exact amount. I don't have that in front of me right now. But I got out last night and I woke up this morning. We're at $5,297 now, so I'm kind of kicking myself in the butt for that. But needless to say, I walked away with a profit. So I'm just watching it right now. There are some other assets that I'm looking at that are severely undervalued still, like Litecoin. So I went ahead and took some profits from Bitcoin and moved out of that because with each one of these significant rises in the price like this, like if we go back here, let me scroll down here. If we go back down into September, like September 1st, September 2nd, we were at $4,922. Okay, so it hit an all-time high, but look what happened. It dropped all the way down to $2,965, and that was right around the time. Remind you, September 15th. That was right around the time frame that Jamie Dimon came out and said Bitcoin was a fraud. Okay, and then here we are now, October 12th, at $5,296. So Jamie Dimon comes back out today and basically says, I'm not going to talk about Bitcoin anymore. The city's chief financial officer says he's taking an intense look at Bitcoin and blockchain. So J.P. Morgan Chase and Company joined Wall Street rivals in expressing a willingness to get involved with cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, which surged to a record on Thursday. We are very open-minded to the potential use cases in the future for digital currencies that are properly controlled and regulated. Now, this is Chief Financial Officer Marianne Lake, who said this in response to a question on a conference call with journalists. After the bank reported third quarter results, we're not going to be a part of that conversation. We'll have to see its quiet dissent. Now, if we go back here to Google, okay, right now, the top headline is Wall Street drops as bank earnings failed to cheer. So bank earnings are coming out and it's dragging the stock market down. And I don't know if you guys pay attention to other news that's coming out from other alternative media, but there's one out there that I just saw the other day, and they were talking about the IMF warning that banks are in trouble. Now, this is all banks, central banks, on down to J.P. Morgan, City Financial. That was just a couple days ago. Now you got earnings reports coming out, which are very not up to par. Let's just put it that way. So the timing here for Bitcoin is, I don't think it's a coincidence. The comments come on 1 month after Chief Executive Officer Jamie Dimon called Bitcoin a fraud and said he would fire any employee trading it for being stupid, a critique echoed by some other financiers. Rivals, including Goldman Sachs Group CEO Lloyd Blankfein, have said they're open to ways that their firms can get involved with the new technology. Citigroup Incorporated, Chief Financial Officer John Gershpak said Thursday that his firm is taking an intense look at cryptocurrencies and the blockchain technology that underlies them. So here we are. You're starting to see it now. Banks are being forced into this stuff. They cannot deny it, no matter how much they bash it. Okay? So Jamie Dimon, I think, was hoping that, his comments about it being a fraud, we're going to take Bitcoin and just rip it apart. Well, it's not happening. I hate to say that, but it is not happening, guys. If you're a central banker, a CFO, chief financial officer, and you're playing this old game of money, there's a new one that's taking its place. And it's right here in front of your face. And whether you like to admit it or not, some of these guys are jumping on board now with the fact that, they got to take a look at Bitcoin. There's just no denying it. So anyways, let me know what your thoughts are on this article and where Bitcoin is right now as far as its price, hitting the $5,000 level for the first time. And then let me know if you think it's going to continue going up here or if you guys think it's going to start contracting, okay? Because my bet, just looking at the charts here, if we go to the Heikinashi, and I'll put some indicators in here real quick. If we look at these charts, and I've been studying them for the last few days, we'll throw relative strength index in there, the MACD. If you look at these charts, though, we're on a 4-hour chart right now. there's nice strong uptrend here in Bitcoin at the moment, but we're at a peak. So this thing, I think, is probably going to start coming down here soon instead of just going parabolic. I mean, on the daily chart, we're already on the RSI at around 75. And normally when it hits around 82 on up to 85, so anywhere between 82 and 85, you can tell it starts turning downwards and coming down in price. So I'm hoping, and I'm looking here at the charts, and it looks like I'm expecting Bitcoin to turn around and start heading down. Meanwhile, I went ahead and invested in. I took my profits off the table and invested in Litecoin, because Litecoin at the current moment, if we look at that one, you're starting to see a nice little uptrend here take place. And I'll switch it over on the Heikin-Ashi bar, on the Heikin-Ashi chart. We'll do the same thing here. We'll go Bollinger Bands, MACD, and Relative Strength Index. And as you can see here, it looks like, on the daily chart, you're starting to see it go upwards here a little bit. And it looks like the MACD, it touched right here and then starts bouncing upwards a little. We'll go back to the regular candle bar real quick, and then I'll wrap up this video. But the Bollinger Bands are starting to narrow in here, and this is on the daily chart. It's starting to go up, starting to strengthen. If we go back here on the 4-hour chart, though, look what it's doing. It's broke, strong upward movement here on the Bollinger Bands. You can see it expanding outwards like that. That's normally a sign that you got a new trend taking place, where it squeezes like that and then it expands outwards on these Bollinger Bands. That means you got, movement either up or down. Well, it's outside the Bollinger Bands on the upper band, and it crossed over here on the MACD. The blue went over the yellow. That's what you're looking for. And so we got some nice volume right now on Litecoin. We're at 55.52. I'm already in a profit. I'm going to hold out, though. I'm going to wait, see where this goes for a little bit. And then I'll shoot another video at a later date, kind of telling you what I'm doing. But that's all I have for today. If you like this video, go ahead and hit the like button. Share it with others. You're tuning in to howtoplaystock.com. And remember, guys, income is the outcome, okay? I'll talk to you later.